This is RadioOnFire.com. Yours truly, Dominic K. in here. Thank you for joining me. Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Hip Hop Hall of Fame Museum and Hotel, where hip hop culture and history lives. Wow, that's a pretty exciting thing there. Now, this Harlem-based 501c3 is focused on hip-hop music and culture from around the world. For more information, visit hiphophof.tv today. So, we've been talking about it pretty much all week. At one show or another, somebody has addressed Monique and her antics as it relates to a boycott for Netflix, a very ill-advised boycott. Like, what was she thinking? Like, what was her husband thinking and whoever else told her to do this dumb shit, right? Of course, Monique should have known better, right? You would think she would know better because anybody with any sense would know this is not the right move. If you're trying to break back into comedy, if you're trying to come back from a long hiatus in comedy, pissing off the biggest digital, network is probably not a good idea. But not only did she piss off Netflix, she has really dampened her chances at other outlets because of this foolishness that she's doing. She's not funny, and it's actually, she's very, very sad. And a lot of times comedians, there's a darkness to them, and there's a sadness, and maybe Monique is tapping into that, because I think when this story is said and done, when the Monique story is said and done, like when it is told, when it's all finished, we are really going to probably feel sorry for Monique. At least some of us will. Some of us will feel sorry for her. So with that being said, we know that Monique said they offered her $500,000 and she could not believe it, and she was worth so much more, and she wants people to boycott because Netflix lowballed her. He lowballed her because she's a woman. That's what she said. So anyway, according to entertainment journalist John Murray, Monique is lying about her being funny. No, Monique is lying about Netflix and the Netflix offer. So Monique claimed that Netflix offered her $500,000 and she was appalled by that. That's what she said. However, what actually happened is that Netflix offered Monique $3 million. Now, does this change anything for the people? Because a lot of people went upset with me because they said that how could I not support the boycott, blah, 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 and the stuff that Monique was saying. And let me say, I've interacted with Monique when Monique was in Baltimore. I've seen her before. She has come through my record store. She bought club mixes from me of my, club music and all that kind of stuff. And I noticed a change in Monique over time. This is before Monique blew up. This is when Monique was still living in Baltimore. For those that remember, Monique used to have a comedy club in downtown Baltimore. Monique lived in Woodlawn. My record store was in Woodlawn. I lived in Woodlawn as well. So I interacted with Monique a lot. And I said this, and I've seen a change in Monique. Over the years, Monique has forgotten. She's forgotten where she has come from. That is Monique. She has. But anyway, let's get back to this. The big wigs over at Netflix wanted to give Monique $3 million. Now, for all y'all people that think she's been lowballed, is that a low number? Do you think that Monique is worth more than $3 million? I think not. I think not. Anyway, okay, she thought that the $3 million was beneath her. And here's why. In order to get this $3 million, Monique had to do a live audition for the big wigs at Netflix. You don't think that $3 million? Tell us some fucking jokes. We're going to give you $3 fucking million, Monique. No. You know why she couldn't do it? Because she doesn't have any jokes, right? What Monique, and she mentioned this, she mentioned that they wanted her to audition. She neglected to mention that this was a part of the $3 million offer. This was the first offer. $3 million, I think, is an offer she should have taken, especially when she's trying to reignite her career. That's what I'm saying. But the Almost Christmas actress, she was a supporting role in that movie. But anyway, Monique was offered this money, and she thought it was beneath her to do an audition. She thought it was beneath her to do the audition for $3 million. So she turned it down. Now she's getting to the part where she tells us about. Now, she felt that Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart and all of those other people didn't have to audition for Netflix, so neither should she. She let her pride get in the way, and that's what cost her big money, right? Now, a source from Netflix is saying that, of course, they're unbothered by all of this Monique stuff anyway. Now, they said that Monique contacted them. Monique contacted Netflix. All right? Monique contacted them. It's not like Netflix came up and said, hey, can we speak to Monique? They didn't give a fuck about Monique. Monique came to them, okay? Now, Monique came to them and wanted to get her comedy special popping. And she wanted to return to the circuit and get moving. Now, Netflix also continues and says that since her and her husband contacted them and they only had a limited budget for her project, which a lot of people felt was going to get minimum views. The projections for the Monique comedy special were low. And that's not because Monique is not popping per se. She's really not popping. But the reason why they projected low views for Monique's comedy show was because Monique hadn't been doing comedy for a while. That's not a slight on Monique. That's just saying, sister, you haven't been doing this for a while. We don't know where this is going to go. You need to convince us, right? I think that that's a fair thing. Kevin Hart has been consistent, okay? Now, Dave Chappelle did take a break, but Dave Chappelle has a cult following, A, and B, Dave Chappelle has been working the circuit, slowly building up his buzz over time. And he also left at the top of his game. His buzz and demand was still there. There were many people that wanted to see the Dave Chappelle show and who loved Dave Chappelle. And when the opportunity came and he started coming up out of his hiatus, there was a demand there. Monique is a different situation. Monique is a different story. But yet Monique felt insulted by the fact that Netflix wanted her to audition for the $3 million. And she started comparing herself to other people. She starts comparing herself, and it didn't work out good for her. Now, they asked Monique if she would audition and for the staff, and if chosen, if they thought that she was funny, then she'd get a $3 million payment for the special, and she refused. She refused that because I think she didn't feel confident in her comedy ability. That's why she refused, because she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't think she was good enough. Something inside of Monique said, I don't know if they're going to like me. And so then she was on her shit after that. Then she got on her shit. So she asked if Dave Chappelle or Kevin Hart or any of these other comedy greats had to audition, and then she went on some rant about how she's an Academy Award winner, etc. She is Academy Award winner for a dramatic role. We're talking about comedy, Monique. Do you think that I don't know. Do you think that Denzel Washington can just come and do a comedy special? No. Do you think Morgan Freeman, do you think he can just come and do a comedy special? No. People don't know them for comedy specials, right? And even though they have a lot of awards, they could not do a comedy special and get what Kevin Hart is getting because they have Academy Awards. That should be obvious. It should be obvious, but no, not to Monique and not to Monique's husband. And I don't think it was obvious to the twins either, but they're kids, so we can give them a pass. Now, Netflix did agree that Monique was and is talented and offered her $500K. No audition, $500,000, whatever, and we could get that moving. But other than that, they couldn't give her the $3 million. And anybody in any good faith, any business person, you would not have given Monique $3 million either. You wouldn't have. You would not have. It's easy for you to say somebody else should give Monique $3 million, but if it was $3 million of your money, you wouldn't have done it. Not without knowing what she can do. And don't tell me about the Queens of Comedy. That was 20 years ago. All right? So Netflix is confused at the amount of time and energy that she has put into this negotiation and alleges that if she'd gone about it the right way, the contracts would have been signed. And I agree with that. Monique just completely took this in a crazy realm and just went over the deep end talking about a boycott and this and that and da-da-da-da-da-da. But it all comes down to the fact that Monique has lost it. Monique is washed up when it comes to comedy. Monique is not funny. If Monique was funny, she would have taken to social media and made jokes. She would have done something to spark up interest. Only thing that Monique has sparked up is controversy, and Monique has added Netflix and probably all the other digital outlets to the long list of people who ain't fucking with Monique. Now, it's not too much more that you can say about it. I mean, she doesn't have a comedy special. Nobody's banging with her like that. And then on top of that, on top of all of that, Monique made all this fuss, and she's fussing with a lot of different people. Monique made all of this. And then to top it off, she's been lying. She's been lying to everybody. Her husband's been lying. Standing in front of that sad ass trophy box with them little bit of trophies talking about she the most decorated comedian. It's sad. It's fucking sad and it's pathetic. And the fact that Monique could have gotten $3 million by telling a few jokes. Tell them a few jokes from this comedy special that you think is worth so much. But you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell them none. You know why? Because your shit ain't funny. Your shit is fucking pathetic and it's fucking sad. But there are going to be people out there who support Monique just because she's out here talking. Some people just want to complain. This boycott thing, lastly, the fact that she wanted to do a boycott because Netflix offered her millions is just an abuse of boycotts. Boycotting has become diluted because anytime something doesn't go the way somebody wants to go, it's supposed to be some boycott. No, that's just not the way boycotts work. That is a disrespect to all the people who have been involved in real things, real boycotts for real issues. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at RadioOnFire. I'm heated with Monique because Monique, in addition to the police commissioner, in addition to all the murders that we have in the city, in addition to all that stuff, Monique continues to put a damper and a black eye and make Baltimore look bad. Goodness gracious. RadioOnFire.com. I will see you guys tomorrow.